5 years ago, my wife Martha died from a stroke. She was 67 years old. We had been married 43 years. The day she died was the worst day of my life. But 3 months later, I learned something that made it even worse. I made a decision when I was 62 that didn't just cost me money. It cost Martha money, even after she was gone. And now I'm living with that mistake every single day. Today, I'm going to tell you what I did wrong, because if you're rethinking about taking Social Security early, you need to hear this. What I learned could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it could save your spouse too. Let me start at the beginning. I retired at 62. Martha was also 62. We both qualified for Social Security. I had worked as an electrician for 40 years. My full retirement age benefit at 67 would have been $2,400 a month. If I waited until 70, it would have been $3,000. Martha worked as a teacher for 35 years. Her full retirement age benefit would have been $1,600 a month. If she waited until 70, it would have been $2,000. We sat at our kitchen table with the Social Security statements in front of us. I said, Martha, we can start collecting right now. If I take mine at 62, I get $1,800 a month. If you take yours, you get $1,200. That's $3,000 a month total, guaranteed money. Martha said, but the statement says if we wait until 67, we get more. I said, yeah, but that's 5 years away. $3,000 a month for 5 years is $180,000. Even if we live to 90, we might not back. Martha said, what if one of us gets sick? What if we need the money? I said, exactly. We take it now while we're healthy enough to enjoy it. So we both filed at 62. I started getting $1,800 a month. Martha got $1,200. $3,000 total. For the first few years, it felt like we made the right choice. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. We traveled a little, visited the grandkids, fixed up the house. Then 5 years later, Martha started having headaches. She went to the doctor. They did tests. They said her blood pressure was high. They gave her medication. 2 months later, I came home from the hardware store and found her on the kitchen floor. She had a stroke. I called 911. They got her to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. Martha died 3 days later. I was 67. She was 67. I can't describe what those first few months were like. I was lost. Our kids came to stay with me. They helped with the funeral, the paperwork, all of it. About 3 months after Martha died, I got a letter from Social Security. It said my benefit was being adjusted due to my wife's death. I thought, okay, they were going to give me her $1,200 on top of my $1,800. That would be $3,000 a month, the same as when she was alive. I opened my next Social Security statement. It still said $1,800. I called Social Security. I said there's a mistake. My wife died, and I'm supposed to get survivor benefits. The woman on the phone said, sir, you are getting the survivor benefit. Your current benefit is $1,800 per month. Your wife's benefit was $1,200 per month. You get the higher of the two. I said, no, I want both. She said that's not how it works. You get the higher amount. I said, so I don't get any increase. She said, no, sir, your benefit is already higher than hers. I said, wait, what about the survivor benefit? I heard you can get your spouse's full benefit. She said that would have been true if your wife had waited until her full retirement age to claim. But she claimed at 62, so her benefit was reduced. The maximum survivor benefit is based on what she was actually receiving. I felt sick. I said so, because we both took it early. I'm stuck at $1,800. She said, yes, sir. Unless your own benefit increases, which it won't, because you're already receiving it. I hung up the phone. I just sat there. I had lost my wife, and I realized I had also lost $1,200 a month for the rest of my life. Let me explain the math, because this is where I made the biggest mistake of my life. When Martha and I both filed at 62, we each took reduced benefits. I got $1,800 instead of $2,400. Martha got $1,200 instead of $1,600. We thought we were being smart, getting the money while we could enjoy it together. But what we didn't understand is this. When one spouse dies, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the two benefits. Not both, just the higher one. So when Martha died, I kept getting my $1,800. I got zero increase. Now here's the part that kills me. If I had waited until age 70 to claim my benefit, would have been $3,000 a month. When Martha died at 67, I would be getting $3,000 a month now instead of $1,800. That's a difference of $1,200 every month. Let me show you the real cost. I'm 72 now. If I live to 90, that's 18 more years. 216 months. 1,200 times 216 is $259,000. I lost my wife. And I lost $259,000 because we both filed early. Last year, I had to get a new roof. $11,000. I had to take it out of my savings. My $1,800 a month barely covers my basic expenses. Property taxes, insurance, utilities, food. I have about $300 left over each month. That's it. No travel. No helping the grandkids with college. No emergencies. If I need to go into assisted living someday, I can't afford it. Assisted living in my area is $4,000 a month. I would need to sell my house. And the worst part is, I did this to myself. I made the decision to file early. Martha trusted me. I said, let's take it now while we can enjoy it. I didn't think about what would happen if one of us died. I didn't understand how survivor benefits work. Nobody explained it to us. The Social Security office just asked, when do you want to start? We said no. They said, okay, sign here. I met with a financial advisor last year. He pulled up a calculator and showed me what would have been optimal. Martha should have filed at 62. I should have waited until 70. When Martha died, I would have switched to my own benefit of $3,000 a month. He said that's the strategy that maximizes lifetime income for couples. I said, why didn't anyone tell us this? He said, most people don't know. Social Security is complicated. I sat in his office and wanted to cry. My friend Jim came over last month. I told him what happened. He said I didn't know survivor benefits worked that way. I said nobody does until it's too late. We realized both our decisions hurt our wives. That's why I'm recording this. Here is what I want you to understand. When you file for Social Security early, you are not just reducing your own benefit. You are potentially reducing your spouse's benefit after you die. If you are the higher earner and you file early, your spouse will get less money when you die. Let me say that again. If you are the higher earner and you die first, your surviving spouse gets your benefit amount, but only the amount you are actually receiving. If you filed early and took a reduced benefit, that's what your spouse inherits. If you had waited until 70, your spouse would inherit a much higher benefit. This is especially important for married couples, where one spouse earns significantly more, and most widows live longer than widowers. So this mistake disproportionately affects women. My daughter came to visit last month. She's 58. Her husband is 60. She said, Dad, we're thinking about taking Social Security at 62. I said, don't. I told her everything. I showed her the numbers. I said if something happens to one of you, the survivor is going to be stuck with a reduced benefit forever. She said, but we want to retire. We want to enjoy life while we're healthy. I said, I understand. I wanted the same thing. But you can retire and not take Social Security. Live off your savings for a few years. Let your Social Security grow. Even if you wait until 67 instead of 62, that's a 30% increase. If you wait until 70, it's a 76% increase. And more importantly, you're protecting each other. She said, what do you mean? I said if your husband is the higher earner and he waits until 70 to file when he dies, you will get his benefit amount. If he files at 62, you get a lot less. For the rest of your life? She got very quiet. She said, I never thought about that. I said, nobody does. We think about Social Security as our benefit. We don't think about it as our spouse's future income. But that's exactly what it is. My daughter called me a week later. She said, Dad, we decided to wait. At least until full retirement age. Maybe longer. I said, good. Learn from my mistake. Here's what I wish I had known when I was 62. Question 1. Who is the higher earner? If you earn significantly more than your spouse, your filing decision affects them more than it affects you. The higher earner should wait as long as possible. Question 2. What is your health situation? If you're reasonably healthy, waiting protects your spouse. Question 3. Do you have other income? Can you live off savings for a few years while letting Social Security grow? Even waiting a few extra years makes a big difference. Question 4. Have you run the numbers on survivor benefits? Use the Social Security calculator online. See what your spouse would get if you died at different ages. It's eye-opening. Question 5. Are you prepared for your spouse to live on less money for potentially 20 or 30 years? Because that's what happens when you both file early and one of you dies. I'm not saying everyone should wait until 70. Some people need the money at 62. Some people have health issues. I'm saying understand what you're giving up. Understand how it affects your spouse. Make the decision with full information. I didn't have full information. I thought I was being smart, taking the money while we could enjoy it together. But I didn't realize I was costing Martha money even after she died. Martha has been gone 5 years. I miss her every day. But I also think about the $1,200 a month, what I could do with it, how much easier life would be. I made a mistake. I can't undo it. Social Security decisions are permanent. Once you file, that's it. You can't go back. I'm telling you this story because I don't want you to make the same mistake. If you're married and you're thinking about filing early, sit down with your spouse. Run the numbers. Talk about what happens if one of you dies. Think about protecting each other. I failed to protect Martha. I thought I was doing the right thing. I was wrong. And now I'm living with that mistake every single month for the rest of my life. If this was helpful, please subscribe. I share real stories about retirement, the decisions I made, the mistakes that cost me, so you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. Until next time, take care of each other. And if you're married, protect your spouse, even after you're gone.